You sit in the middle of a conversation and suddenly feel 1,000 miles away. You're listening, you're nodding, but inside you're watching a different movie. You see the gap between what people are saying and what they actually mean. It's a quiet, humming frequency that only you can hear. You've spent years wondering why you can't just exist in the moment like everyone else, why you analyze the air in the room before you speak. You've probably told yourself you're overthinking. Or maybe you're just socially awkward, but the truth is more unsettling. You aren't failing to fit in. You are processing a layer of reality that your environment refuses to acknowledge. It's a specific kind of loneliness that doesn't go away with company. It's the isolation of seeing the wall before the car hits it. And you're about to find out exactly what that means for your mind. You try to explain a solution that seems obvious to you, but the look on their faces is blank, or worse, they look at you with a hint of annoyance. You start to edit yourself, you shrink your thoughts, you learn to speak in a lower resolution just so you can be understood. This is where the shame creeps in. You tell yourself you're being arrogant, you worry that you're just imagining your own intelligence to feel special. So you stop sharing. You retreat into a private gallery of observations that no one ever sees. You spend your nights searching for one person who thinks in the same jagged lines you do. It's an exhausting performance. You are a translator in your own home, a stranger in your own workplace. You feel like a puzzle piece from a different box, and the most painful part, you still don't know why. Psychologists call this cognitive complexity. In plain English, it's your brain's ability to perceive multiple dimensions of a problem simultaneously. While others see a straight line, you see a web. The emotional consequence is a constant state of mental overstimulation. You aren't overthinking, you are simply seeing more. It's like trying to play a 4K video on a low-resolution monitor. The image is too rich for the screen to handle. It flickers. It glitches. This isn't a flaw in your character. It is a high-performance system running in a low-bandwidth environment. You have been judging yourself for the glitch when the glitch is actually proof of your resolution. You feel out of place because you are literally perceiving more data points than the people around you. But this cognitive gap is only the first layer of your isolation. There is a deeper mechanism at work that changes how you feel about yourself. Here is what no one told you. Your ability to see these patterns wasn't always a gift. For many of you, it was a requirement. You didn't choose to be this observant, you had to be. When your early environment was unpredictable, your brain adapted. It learned to read the micro-expressions of a parent. It learned to predict the mood of a room before a word was spoken. This is the sudden clarity. Your intelligence isn't just a trait, it's a shield. You became a master of analysis because analysis kept you safe. The loneliness you feel now is the residue of a survival skill that no longer has a threat to fight. You are still scanning for danger in a room full of friends. You are still calculating the risk of a simple conversation. This realization changes everything, because it means your mind isn't just smart, it's vigilant, and that vigilance has a name. This is known as hypervigilance. Your brain's alarm system is permanently turned up to 10. In plain terms, your mind is constantly scanning for patterns to predict the future. The emotional cost is a profound inability to ever truly relax. You can't just be because your brain is too busy calculating. It's like having a smoke detector that goes off every time someone toasts bread. It's not broken, it's just too sensitive for the room. You've spent years feeling anxious or too intense, but that intensity was the most logical response to an illogical environment. You weren't being difficult, you were being precise. You were protecting yourself the only way you knew how. This reframe returns your dignity. Your anxiety isn't a disorder, it's an overdeveloped skill. But knowing the mechanism is only the beginning. To move forward, you have to see how this plays out in real life. Theo is a data analyst who spent years playing small. He lived in a private dread that his colleagues found him arrogant. He saw the flaws in every project months before they happened, but he kept quiet. He didn't want to be the smartest person in the room. Then a critical system failure hit the company. It was a catastrophe. The leadership was blind. In a moment of forced confrontation, Theo spoke up. He didn't just find the error. He had mapped the entire failure path weeks ago. The outcome was immediate. He saved the project. But more importantly, Theo realized that his struggle wasn't a lack of social skill. It was the friction of suppressing his nature to make others comfortable. He stopped trying to fit into a box that was too small for him. You are like Theo. You've been shrinking your mind to fit your environment, but you were meant to expand it. Everything you have felt, the isolation, the boredom, the creeping sense that you are speaking a language no one understands, it all collapses into one truth. You are not broken. You are an outlier. Your mind is a high-precision instrument in a world that prefers blunt tools. The very thing you hated about yourself, your inability to just let things go, is actually proof of your profound capacity for depth. You have a loyalty to the truth that most people are too afraid to acknowledge, but this gift came at a devastating price. You paid for your insight with your peace of mind. You traded your belonging for your awareness. You have carried the weight of seeing too much for far too long. You are now granted permission to stop pretending, not because you need to be fixed, but because you have earned the right to be seen. You are finally ready to stop shrinking. This isn't about willpower. It's about re-educating a system that learned the wrong lesson. First, you find cognitive mirrors. These are spaces, books, or communities where your resolution matches the environment. This tells your brain that its depth is an asset, not a threat. Second, you practice selective vulnerability. You share one high-resolution thought with one trusted person. Your nervous system learns that being seen doesn't always lead to rejection. Third, you use somatic grounding. When the mental loop starts, you focus on the physical weight of your feet on the floor. This signals to your amygdala that the current environment is safe. You aren't improving yourself. You are teaching your biology that the war is over. You are expanding your definition of safety. By doing this, you stop fighting your mind and start leading it. You are returning to the peace you were always entitled to. You've spent a long time feeling like a stranger in your own life. Today, you started to understand the machinery behind that feeling. You aren't alone in this frequency. Next week, I will show you the psychological mechanism of hyperindependence, why the smartest people often find it impossible to ask for help, even when they're drowning. If you are ready to genuinely explore how your mind truly works, I invite you to join this community. We don't look for surface-level tips. We look for the real mechanisms of human behavior. We are a collection of outliers who are tired of shrinking. Hit subscribe and let the weight lift. You no longer have to translate your soul just to be heard. You can just be. Take a deep breath. You are exactly where you need to be. You are finally home.